Good morning, everyone. It's actually afternoon. It's 5 after 12. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Just give me 1 second here. Sending lots of love and healing out to everybody. Love and blessings. Deep breath. I am that I am. I am healthy. I am happy. I am abundant. I am wise and beautiful. I hope everybody's doing well today. I meant to start about 45 minutes ago, and then as I was doing my little meditation into my little girl, I got a huge message. So I'm going to bring that to you. I'm not sure what it all means exactly yet, but maybe you can help me with that. Okay, so here are the pictures first for the 4D, 5D, 6D read for the twin flame union. Here's the 4D, 5D, 6D, the feminine on the left, the masculine down the right, the bridge between them in the middle, the incoming divine feminine, the outgoing divine masculine, the underlying energy, and the closing energy. And then the read in front of you, which is the general read for the twin flames, both the masculine and the feminine. This is the SIRIAN Starseed deck, and then the full read here in front of you. The 7-deck read. A lot of energy there. If you want something more specific to you, you can always get a session with me if you'd like. My information's below and on my website, twinflames3344.com. And thank you all for joining me today. I so appreciate your company. And so here goes with my message today. And I am asking you guys to comment on anything that comes up for you when I tell you this information. All right, so when I went into my little girl, because I told you yesterday, now when I go into my little girl, she isn't showing her moods. She's just coming up as a young adult who's very grounded and not feeding into any dramatic energies and just smiling and being a guide. And then today when I went in, she was just sitting there very exhausted and tired. But then they were showing me her yawning because they wanted me to get to the powwow type of energy, like like an Indian patting their mouth. She wanted to get me to the shaman energy of the grounded Aborigine type energy. Doesn't matter what country they're from, all the Aborigines being very grounded shaman energies as opposed to the more etheric energies, which a lot of the guides out right now are extremes of both. So I was connecting with all of a sudden they were showing me 2 triangles. I'm in Pennsylvania, right? And they were showing me, first they were showing me Chris Macklin and Bonnie Saratori. Bonnie Saratori is Spiritual Acceleration, and Chris Macklin, I'm forgetting his website right now. But you can look him up. He's on YouTube. But they're both healers. But they were triangulating the locations with me and showing me the book, right? The book that opens, and and me being the binding, which is like the twin flame thing, the grid holders, and showing me like pairs of like Chris, which would be more in the etheric realms, and then Bonnie's more as the grounding mechanism. And then they were showing me Magenta Pixie as the etheric energy. And it was so funny because she met with Elizabeth April, which I've been talking about Elizabeth this week, as the grounding mechanism, as she was just talking about grounding in the interview with Magenta, and her staying very much in her human body energy. So, and again, though, is getting as the twin flames being the binding of the book holder, the articulation or the binder of the open book. And then the open book test has been coming up in my reads all week. And then I was getting, like, I always call Chris Santa Claus. And I was getting Chris as Santa Claus to Bonnie's Aborigine grounding energy. And then I was getting, instead of Bonnie and Clyde, I was getting Bonnie and Claus, or Klaus, because that was coming up last week. And then I've seen Magenta as the dragon. So and Puff the Magic Dragon was coming up here to Elizabeth's Phoenix Rising I was getting for her as the grounding mechanism. And I always get the Sophia energy. It's like the twin feminine being in the mother energy, being the articulation between these two energies, right? The grid holders. So then I was guided to draw the triangles of the locations between each triangle. Me and Chris and Magenta, me, Chris and Bonnie, and then me, Magenta, and April, because I'd seen a triangular connection between me and my kids. Like, for example, when my daughter was in Phoenix and my son was in Missouri, I looked up the mileage, and it was exactly the same mileage from me to him and then him to her on that triangle. So I knew there was some kind of locational energy that was connected here. And when I drew the two triangles here, they weren't equal, but it was like, instead of being of course, the hypotenuse, the longest line, but then the other two lines for these two triangles was the 1/3 energy, which comes up as the 369 energy, and the I'm just blanking out on the word. The right, the golden mean, the same energy, and the 369 energy. So it was very significant because both triangles were coming up as that same kind of energy. They were literally the same triangle, except on a much larger scale. Obviously, going from the United States to the UK is going to be a larger triangle. But it's very interesting. So if anything comes up for you guys regarding that stuff, please comment below, and I will be doing some more meditation on that to see what comes up. And then today is the 5th, so it's 5/5. There's that portal energy of 5/5, a lot of change with the 5. And today this read was done on the 4th, so yesterday got 4 today's energies for 5/5. And yesterday was the number 4 of the Emperor, and then the 14 of the Temperance card. And again, the Temperance is the patience and balance, the higher love. And it can also be impatience or the loss of temper. Kind of energies coming up depending on the energy or the perspective that comes up for you, the negative or the positive. So we have the day today then being the 15 of the devil energies, along with the Hierophant, which can be the patriarchal energies, especially the negative ones, coming up with the 15 of the devil today. So this union energy of the 4D, 5D, 6D first. The message is coming up from that. I'm going to roll the die first to see what energies come up from the dice for us today. Take a deep breath, guys. There's definitely some difficult, stressful, nervous energies coming up here. All right, so I have the number 10, which is a turn for the better. We have Pluto again over here, and then we have Sagittarius here. So Sagittarius and Pluto. Okay. And then we have the number 10. So I'm going to put these over here. All right, so Sagittarius is that Jupiter energy of that Saggy energy. I always call God Saggy, Mr. Ed. So it's all about that expansion and beneficial energies. And then the Pluto is the grand transformation. It's the most outer planet. It's very planetary and universal energy about the whole, whatever happens to us all. But the Sagittarius is bringing in very positive energies And then we have the number 10, which also is that turn for the better energy of the Great Wheel of Fortune and divine timing, right? We have no control of those certain things. And the union read was done at 111. The 1 of the Magician, the 11 of Justice, which again is truth and balance. And let's see here. We started out this union read with the King of Pentacles, which in the SIRIAN Starseed deck is also Akashic Records. We had the Tower in the middle of this read, and then the 9 of Swords at the end of the read. So take a deep breath. I'm actually going to bring in my little clappers over here. Send some love to wherever is feeling uncomfortable in your body. And that went out really quick. There's some dense energies coming up for sure. All right, so we have the King of Pentacles and Akashic Records with the crown wide open and proud about it. The Tower event with sudden changes as lightning strikes and Spidey falls, scaling the walls, which I forgot to tell you. Right before I sat down, I saw a little spider, but then I didn't know if it was a tick or not. And when I had that dream the other night, I also dreamt that a tick was in my ear. And then Elizabeth April was just talking about how she had an implant in her ear. And my tick in my ear came up before I heard that from her. So there's some kind of relationship to the triangular stuff that came up for me. So again, lightning strikes and Spidey falls, scaling the walls, burning britches, suffering in silence, or perhaps dealing with a sister here, purging and grounding, below ground in the pit or the dugout, in the woods, covering face or keeping the sun out of their eyes. This is also, or hiding below ground. So not in a cave, but it's just showing a pit in the ground where they're grounding very deeply below the ground, kind of like to keep the sun out of their eyes, or being in the shade, or inside ruins, or a building that's burned down, or at the 9/11 memorial, but now it's 111. As opposed to 911, it's 111. As opposed to, so not an emergent ending, but emergent or emerging beginning. And I always have told you about the one card in the Journey of Love that looks like a pillar that comes up out of the 9/11, which is below ground, coming up with the with our masters on top of that. And I always got the connection of the angels to the Pleiadian ship at the Statue of Liberty. So that all is in conjunction with each other. A pillar rising from the ground zero to meet the starship Enterprise, a Trekkie meet for stars, or a trek to hike and ground. All right, so, and actually I'll be definitely doing a lot of hiking stuff coming up. And then we have the incoming divine feminine, which is the 9 of Wands, the King of Wands, and the 5 of Pentacles. Grounding, grounding, grounding. The wounded warrior making a point to show the flame in hand, and the 4 lined up at 124, which is the Magician, and the 24 of the Queen of Wands, and the King of Wands shaman. So here's the shaman energy that I was bringing up before. And then the Hermit in exile from the group. The need for the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands to bond, both feeling left out and wounded. The Leo and Virgo energies were coming up here perhaps for these two men. And this also has to do with mastery of the Pentacles, right, of manifestation, and the King of Wands of the mastery of the passions and the inspiration. The Leo and Virgo, perhaps, which are signs right next to each other. The Akashic Records and Aborigines, which I didn't see that two relationship because this is what I did yesterday. I don't, reread them until I do the video. So what just came up with the etheric realm connection and then the grounding connection I just brought up with Chris and Bonnie and then Magenta and Elizabeth April. Akashic Records and the Aborigines, as above, so below, cold and hot, it's up to the group to pull in the one. the outliers, right? So the outliers of the polarities, as the victim in the center does their little shift, it pulls the outliers in closer to the center, losing the connection. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? It's like talking on your cell phone. Can you hear me? Losing your connection. And then I was just getting Tommy. But here I was getting, can you see what I see? Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Can you see what I see? As it gets higher. But I was also just getting Tommy, see me, feel me, touch me, heal me. Did you just see what happened? And Spirit's connecting with me major right now. So as I sang the drummer boy thing, I was going very high in the etheric realms. And then as Tommy came in, it was very low in the Aborigine, the shaman energy of the grounding mechanism. A child that will bring us goodness and light. And then the elders that ground us as the Aboriginal energy, the shaman energy here. The 4D here is the Knight of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, higher self, the Divine Feminine, proposing or receiving a proposal of Greece or Kos, which is very interesting because Kos is my dad's nickname, but it's also an island in Greece, one of the Greek islands. Greece or Kos, and Greece can reference, greasy hands like the oil grease, but it also can reference Grease the movie because a lot of times that comes up as the twins. And then the mountainous village with lots of white buildings, or just the pristine environment, or Disney World or land, which was so weird because after I wrote this, my kids were having a text conversation with me, but then I dropped out, and they were talking about somebody else who had just gone to Disney World. So Disney's coming up here too. The Divine Masculine, higher self, reading scrolls. The Divine Masculine higher self is coming up as the Divine Feminine, right? The higher self reading the scrolls or the Akashic records in plasma light or static electricity on the dark side of the moon. Gemini coming up here, which is also the twin energy of 2 or 11. The secret truth and balance and the northern lights working on a plan, and then round robin was coming up. Bridging by downloads, and that can be, doing a round robin as well, doing a chant over and over again with a group, around a tree, which we did in south of France, hand in hand, doing round robins around a tree. Bridging by downloads and twins grounding, messages and others watching. The hot air balloon, which then is the etheric realm energy, the hot air balloon ride, and to catch a thief. So at 151 is the Magician and the King of Swords. The 5D energies came up here as the 3 of Swords, the Tower, and the 2 of Wands. The Divine Feminine getting light out there in all different ways. Lightning, ships, beacons, reflection, to heal and forgive. Ridding fear by shedding light on the unknown, which is the dark. So again, all the fear that comes out, what do I do? Do I get this? Do I not get this? And remember that fear is the #1 enemy. Anything that puts you into fear is not where you need to be, right? You have the ability to transmute and rise above all energies. The searchlights scouring the oceans at night to see the truth just beneath the surface, or rescue operations. The Divine Masculine twin flames seeing the higher picture. A lunar and etheric perspective of Geminis and twins, and the #2 on the die, bridging with the sudden events or southeastern energies here, and surprises, epiphanies, and sudden changes. So the sudden events, but also southeast was coming up here, which doesn't usually happen. And South Florida has definitely been coming up recently, so there could be something regarding Florida and surprises, bridging with the southeast or sudden events, surprises, epiphanies, and or sudden changes. The 6D here is the 6 of Pentacles, the 9 of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles, all Pentacles. Manifestations, the Divine Feminine sharing, charitable, balancing time and money as the Divine Masculine with breakthroughs, diamond in the rough, rock crystals, and brand new starts, exuding soft yellow and peach hues. The coal miner's daughter came up right here. bridging and sovereign or sovereignty. So again, the coal miner's daughter, the coal miners are below the earth, right? The grounding mechanism. The feminine in the Garden of Eden with pure wise counsel, or the owl, or perhaps a decorator at hand, manifesting lots of beautiful crystals in the 6D, which is instant manifestation. New life, abundance, and sharing, contentment and prosperity, as the divine feminine has the Knight of Pentacles here in the 4D, the masculine energy offering to separate and settle out and share. The divine masculine side has the 4D higher self of the divine feminine, and the 5D twin flames, the 6D new life of perfect contentment. The bridge of the 4D downloads from the 5D twins in a sudden change to sovereignty of being pure and wise, the bird and the wise old owl. Okay, so again, there keeps coming in this play on the polarities of the etheric realms and the aborigine grounding energies. The outgoing divine masculine here is the Page of Wands, the guidance and the alchemy. Sekhmet coming up here with the Page of Wands, Seeker Seeker 01, the expression of or 01 as opposed to of. Seeker 01. O is the human embodiment of source and the one of the unity consciousness. The divine feminine meditation with the divine masculine statuesque as the lion-headed sphinx, and notice Sekhmet's also lion-headed, the lion-headed sphinx with knowledge, and then heart and soul coming up. The inspiration and wisdom, again the etheric and the aborigine. The student and the teacher alchemizing as one, and purging, grounding below ground in the pit of the stomach, and the pits of hell, the purging. So found a pit in the ground to resonate with that energy. The light showing up in the least likely of places, in ocean depths and high places, land and sea, as sudden changes merge the Knight of Pentacles and the higher self to watch downloads together. The divine masculine accepting that he's a twin, the divine feminine allowing and giving forgiveness. He initiating and she sharing at 218, the high priestess and the moon, both sovereign from differing perspectives. Okay, very important message in this. Very stressful here. The divine feminine energy here coming up with no major arcana on the divine feminine side. So it's like when you're on your own with no majors, it actually feels more difficult to you. There's more stress energy coming in because you're not having that guidance. So the feminine also had the King of Pentacles, the Wounded Warrior, the King of Wands, and the Hermit, but without the light, again in the shade. And the masculine had Pisces, Taurus, and Sagittarius on their side, along with the Page of Wands, which is that Sekhmet energy. And between them was Scorpio and the Sovereign, or the Sovereignty. The number that came up for this read was the number 51, which came up also at the top of the page here, which is the King of Swords. And then as I looked at the clock, it was 51 and 52 that came up regarding my message when I went under. So that was very significant there. See? Just wanted to see where that time was. Yeah, right when I wrote my notes, when I came out of my meditation, it was 10:51 to 52. And then I finished that note at 10:15, which is today's date again, the 15, which is the reflection of the 51, the King of Swords, right? So the shadow is a reflection of the King of Swords, who's, right, the man in his integrity, in his full truth. But they're both polarized, right? So we have the 51 of the King of Swords, and then the horizontal pillars came up as 25, 5, and 21, which is the Knight of Wands, the Hierophant, which is the day's date today, and the 21 of the world. And then the vertical pillars came up as 9, 5, 9, 16, 3, and 9. And the messages were coming up as, and I'm sorry, that was the Hermit, the Hierophant, and the Hermit again, the Tower, the Empress, and the Hermit. Also, though, we can have the 59, which is the Five of Swords, and the 39 of the Knight of Cups. So the message here was the Knight of Wands, commitment complete, or now committing themselves to the world and or the divine feminine in the 5D as the King of Swords, the man of honor. So the other way was coming up as the Hermit and the War with the Truth in sudden events with the Empress and Hermit and the King of Swords. Two hermits with the Hierophant between, or their commitment to epiphanies and being love. So again, the sudden change from war to love here. Very major day today. Very major. And don't forget, in Sam the Illusionist, the 26th came up as well this month. To really keep your high vibration this month. And right now, I guess we're really being reminded to ground, ground, ground when you get too much light. And this is different for the masculines and the feminines, right? Because the masculines already come in with the sun energy. That's why they like the cave to be in the dark, because they're already in that masculine sunlight energy. The feminine needs the sunlight. She absorbs the sunlight. That's why she needs to pull in the rays for the two of them. Because she's more of the dark energies, right? She is the feminine, the nothingness. So she needs to be in the sun to feel good as a human grounded on this earth. So we have the SIRIAN Starseed deck was cut and dealt for this read in front of you, the twin flame read at 314, which is the pi energy, which is the very balanced energy of the circle with the line down the middle, which is pi, but also doesn't go outside of itself. It stays within the body. It doesn't expand out to the etheric realms, which is the phi energy. So here it's saying to ground, right? Because pi is coming up. It's also my daughter's birthday that day. And today is the 5-5 portal. It's also, is today Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday today. Oh no, it's Tuesday. I couldn't remember if it's still Tuesday or Wednesday. So Tuesday today? No, the 4th was Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. See, I can't remember day to day. So today's Wednesday was also considered the middle of the week, right? The 0 point, the middle place, the balanced place, and also the place between the moons, right? Between the full moon and the upcoming new moon, right? That safe neutral zone between. Flames came up at 323, which is all about the flames today. The 3 of the Empress, the 23 of the King of Wands, and of course the pi energy is the Empress and the Temperance, or that higher love. The completion of the read was at 333, the 369, to 334, which is the energetic exchange between the twins, that 8 of Wands. And the major arcana here were Starseed and Lovers. Before the read, we had the Starseed is the Fool. Before the read was Justice and the Shadow, which is the Devil. And after the read was the Reason, or the Emperor, and the Hanging Man. We had 2 cups, 3 swords, 3 wands, and 1 pentacle. The Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords came up in the read as the main players. And then before the read was the Queen of Pentacles. And after the read, the Page of Swords. We also had the 9 of Cups within the read. And the numbers came up significantly as double ones, double fours, and double sixes. The 1 of the 11, Justice, the 44 of the Grounding, Integrating, Mastering of Love, the 4 of Cups, and the 66 of the Queen of Pentacles, who's very well grounded in her ability to manifest. So we have the sequence of 4, 5, 6 came up in the read here, which again is the 4D, 5E, 60, and then 8, 9, which is the 5 energy, the reflection of 98, which is the human body temperature when it's balanced. And then the 46 of the 6 of Cups, the 14 of the higher love, very significantly came up here. And then in a lesser sense, the Death card of transition, the 34 of the energetic exchange, the 8 of Wands, the 68 of the Page of Pentacles, and the 9, 10 begin again and again and again, keep coming back to 0 point, grounding back to 0 point. The code line was all about surrender, synchronicity, and creativity here. And the only thing that was split up was the SY from synchronicity. So it came up as SY and then N chronicity. So I'll get into that in a second. I was just hearing the birds chirping outside, and then I saw a bird just dive to the ground. Well, that's like the phoenix diving. Is it the phoenix she talks about? I can't remember what Janet used to talk about the bird that dives, that does so many dives when they mate or come together before they come up for good. So talking about spiders, because I saw one this morning, I don't know if it was a tick or a spider, but that same type of energy came up last night when I did this read, because at 3:39 a spider ran from under the table to under the side table across where I could see it. That was definitely a spider. So the other numbers that came up here on the code line was the number 572. If that's significant for someone, it was coming from the number 564 and the number 8. And again, around synchronicities, surrender, and creativity. And the messages coming up here were expanding and contracting to say I am a 56, the 2 of Swords. I am in my knowing and keeping my energy pure. The 4 of Swords of the 5D connection, and the twins dancing between their masculine and feminine on path. Then FSA came up, the acronym, the flexible spending account, forward sortation area, the finite state automation, and foreign service assignment coming up. And then another interpretation of the code line was the Lovers, expanding and contracting the pit. The pit's been coming up a lot the past couple days. And there's one card, the Temperance card. The Alchemy card in this deck is literally a pit, like a peach pit. And the pit in your stomach. Expanding and contracting the pit, which is fear and nervousness, which can be something that we're clearing right now, right? Because everyone gets that all the time, especially when we live in stressful jobs, right? We always have that pit in our stomach, the nervousness that comes up when we're in fear of something or stressed about something. So the pit, the oppressed, the oppression, the wounded, the grieving, to exit and leave, to receive, waste, lose, and be incorrect. Allowing yourself to be incorrect, right? Because we've lived with the fact that we're not allowed to be wrong, right? That it's bad to be wrong, that then you're a loser, right? Or then your parents are going to yell at you and you're going to get in trouble, or you're going to get beat up for being wrong, right? To know, to assay or assess or essay in order to order, to send, to be fruitful, to pour, to have seen, to saw something in half, to bloom, a man, boy, or fellow, white bread, and belt and ribbons, with long skirt and robe, tea and wedding, the committed marriage and the lovers in their knowing of the 5D connection on 8th Street, or their dancing path. Also, flexible spending account came up, and hee-haw, like someone excited about their flexible spending account. And then the Hierophant with the 5, change and a freedom, the expansion. The lover on break or on a rest, the 5D connection on 8th Street, which is coming up as the easy street, the dance between, the 0 point. The 8 is the 2 zeros together, the 2 0 points dancing as one. The surrender being the sigh, like when you give up, that's surrender. The Christ energy coming up here as the chronicity of Christ. So that could be chronicling, or the chronic TY, gratitude, chronic gratitude and creativity as the CR, which is 10 million, eativity, 10 million people eating and co-creating in gratitude, right? As you're seeing everyone around the world showing gratitude to their food and drink as they drink it, taking it in, healing the world. The sigh of the satisfaction when you're full after the meal, showing the surrender into yourself. And again, the Jesus and Mary Magdalene, the Christ and Sophia coming up here. And the chronic gratitude of the TY at the end of synchronicity and creativity. And surrendering to the sigh. The JC being the chronic gratitude, the thank you, and the 10 million eating in co-creation of gratitude. The Sophia at the Y in the road, Sophia's path being the 8. The Sophia, so imagine the S, and then the path runs through the S, literally is the 8, Sophia's path. The 1, the lowercase I, the uppercase I, remember, because I say the lowercase I is the chakra system with the third eye. It's the I am that I am presence, right? The vertical pillar of the chakra system. The 9 of Cups reverse starts this read, and below it, from the bottom up, grounding below ground, the 4 of Wands reversed, the Queen of Pentacles reversed, Justice upright, the Ace of Cups reversed, and the Shadow reversed. The instability, the move, the visit and end, to celebrate the celebration, the homecoming of the Queen of Pentacles reversed, injustice, Libra, divorce, a breakup, no love, overwhelmed, purging, pushed to their emotional limit, sweating it out, detoxing chaos, and self-dissatisfaction, unhappiness with self or with being alone, arrogance and not emotionally fulfilled. The Queen of Wands reversed, connected to the Emperor upright, or agreeing to disagree, the two of them. New information here with clarity destined to bring them on the same page and yet thrown off balance at the same time. Libra upright, Aries upright, Capricorn or Pisces reversed, and Libra upright here as well. The Queen of Wands reversed, not happy, but the Emperor is. The bold move to receive love from depressed family with dysfunction or loss after sudden events or southeast experience, whether that's Florida or somewhere else around the southeast, with the Queen of Wands reversed, flowers coming together to share and or settle out with the truth causing a fight or conflict, or Cancer or warrior with self-love as the bird unable to take flight with their honey, and I'm losing my voice, and the old man needing help suddenly or not so suddenly. Avoiding disasters or avoiding sudden events with the Queen of Wands reversed, reunion to settle up, or a party where truth is presented and then a conflict perhaps breaks out, or performance or competition about who's right, who's better, and both sides end up unhappy and or depressed or being arrogant about it at 424, because then no one's happy and no one's right. The 424 is the Emperor and the Queen of Wands again, confirming that that's the two dealing with each other right there. All right, so they're right there. You see the Emperor right there, and the Queen of Wands is right on the other side where you can't see, she's reversed. And then the Two of Cups between them. So they're agreeing to disagree. But then conflict can break out again because they don't agree. Again, the ego comes in, taking bets. On your mark, go. A very competitive bunch, unable to sit peacefully, stuck up, hung out to dry, or the only way to get aroused is by fighting or aggressive sports due to their family upbringing, always being aggressive or being forced to compete with each other as a way of life. Always placing bets on the winner, war games and war wounds, and gambling issues come up here. Suffering in silence and being outed, purging, crying, not sleeping, awake with a headache perhaps. The page, and also that's the ha energy. Ha, say ha, ha. I am ha, right? Ha is the energy of the crown. The Page of Swords reversed and the Page of Pentacles reversed, depressed. The Cancer upright, the Aquarius reversed and Scorpio reversed here. One child lying and spying and spreading rumors or gossips, another being an opportunist or just never learns their lesson or not doing their schoolwork. Aquarius reversed and Capricorn reversed, and little red boots and little natural boots, right? Who's right and who's wrong? Au naturel, or the one who likes the latest fashions, right? The new, the manifesting, not knowing what it's like to be in the other's boots. And or the parents can't sleep because their kids are always fighting or arguing. And then this could be the one comes up, and beneath that, the children who are affecting your love life. Awake, no longer inspecting every inch, no longer being in fear, worried about every little detail, getting over it. Swingers, no more swingers, no more swings, or an unstable home, moving or visiting. The Knight of Cups offering love to one that they hurt deeply in a betrayal of sexual energies, keeping the wrong one in the circle of trust no more, in a relationship of the lower chakra system. And then forgiveness comes up with 96, and nature comes up with 74, which is that perfect balance. Remember that nature is always perfectly balanced. So when you aren't, go sit in nature to help you rebalance, and also sit back to back to merge your energies together so that you can come onto the same page. So we have the Fool free and release from prison, ending conflict and separation with the King of Wands reversed, third party outside marriage or due to bad influences, divorce or divorcee. The King of Wands reversed may be sick, tired, or pissed off, with social distancing or no social life, or overindulging with bad influences, gossips, in a divorce or break from a religion, establishment, group, or Taurus reversed, or just no joy here, with the King of Wands reversed, forced to think outside the box or be more spiritually minded. Or the Queen of Wands is upright here with Aries, separate or separating from the King of Wands reversed. So here with the King and Queen of Wands are both reversed. The King of Wands may have Taurus in his chart here. We have and we're in Taurus energy right now. So divorce, break, Taurus reversed. Unhappy birthday, Tauruses. Unhappy Queen of Wands reversed, conflicted, dissatisfied, and depressed, suffering in silence, betrayed, and forgiveness here needed. The underlying energy being the Ten of Cups upright, Temperance upright, Chariot upright, and the Queen of Wands upright. She's upright here, but she wasn't in the main part of the read. So the happy family of emotional fulfillment, the happy ending, and patience for travel or a move with the Queen of Wands upright before the read. Sagittarius and Cancer and Aries perhaps were dealing in those energies right there. So those were the most underlying energies going into the read. And again, going below ground to come back up again. Going forward after the read is the energy of looking back at the hermit going crazy, over-isolating, coming out with a bad childhood or a negative past or falling out, returning, or kids with issues or giving you a hard time, and defenseless to the awakening, implementing a plan with the Empress upright, the mother energy with the Knight of Wands, leaving lovers to rescue the Empress or to rescue themselves. Or the Knight of Wands upright is rushing in with lovers on their mind. The recent energy here at 4:54, the Emperor and the Page of Swords, the message. The recent past is the Six of Wands upright, leading the way on a quest to the finish. Right? It's that energy of war, right? You fight to the finish. You have to finish, right? Either one has to end up dead or nothing, that's the way it goes. You keep fighting until someone's completely dead. Leading the way on a quest to the finish, to end the pain, or getting help from the gang to end the pain and betrayal. And this is like the gang. Remember, the word gang can reference a group of friends, right? Right? Like Kool and the Gang, or, I'm hanging out with the gang tonight, right? But it also has a very negative connotation. So finishing, like the quest to the finish line to end the pain, or getting help from the gang to end pain and betrayal, or a pain in the ass for good. So at 4:56, again, the 4-5-6 here of the 4D5D60, and the 4 of the Emperor and the 2 of Swords, the 56, being in your knowing and keeping your energy clear, and FedEx just passed by going north. Awakening to the delivery of the message, the Knight of Wands rushing in from the past. It was 12:48 on the clock. The 48 came up at the beginning of the read as well, which is the walking away within. So the King of Wands the Knight of Wands who's upright, rushing in from the past when the world was upside down. They're very passionate, and they're very active, physically active. Pisces reversed, or Divine Feminine in the 5D, with the King of Pentacles reversed, destined to the Queen of Pentacles, or to be schooled by her. And I think she was reversed too. They were both reversed. So again, the King of Pentacles destined to the Queen of Pentacles reversed, or to be schooled by her, leading the way and refusing to walk away despite the uncomfortable energies that came with it. And now this could be a couple, this could be parents, this could be brother and sister, the King and Queen of Pentacles, or they could be two earth signs who are partners, so it really can be any two people. Not leaving here until there's a winner at hand, right? Because of that competitive energy coming up today. Or both the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles reversed have Libra in their chart. The Queen of Pentacles reversed perhaps with Capricorn, and the King of Pentacles reversed perhaps with Pisces in their chart, or siblings destined to work it out together. The foundation here being the Knight of Wands on the go, sharing and settling out with Justice or Libra, or in a divorce of deception, or up before dawn, or with Cancer issues, or over it, but issues at work with no peaceful place to go, or always will be, or someone who never has peace of mind because they always feel like there's going to be follow-up, especially if they now are cancer-free, but it's always going to be in the back of their mind. No peace of mind is coming up for that person. The central energy of the Six of Swords reversed, stuck in their head or their mind. The Sovereign and the King of Wands reversed, on a journey to help others by juggling or performing, distracting them to show them another view. Letting go of Scrooginess to fix and make amends, challenged by the Four of Swords reversed, not sleeping and or waking up to come out, to the Queen of Cups reversed with happy family, and she came up twice together, so many times, like the same cards come up together in the read. It's so cool the way it works out that way. But the Queen of Cups is coming up with the Ten of Cups upright in two different places, being either she's sad and getting a lot of support from her family, or just emotionally detached or over emotional right here, but with the family's supportive here, or in a happy ending here, or divorced and making magic. Right? So there may be some grieving, but also happiness at the same time. Dumping a load, a burden, responsibility, and or frustrated, or being more spiritual. And the Page of Wands reversed coming up here, frustration. The Virgo or Gemini is upright and Taurus reversed. The Page of Wands could be an Aries person or child, and the Knight of Swords rushing in with a message to the King of Swords about release from prison, or anxieties, fears, and poor judgment, holding back an announcement, needing to swallow their pride, the day the music died. And the King of Swords upright, obsessing over lost love, or Sovereign and King of Pentacles reversed, without his superhero status, drained and in need of sunshine, or his sunshine, or in the dumps and healing. And the Empress stunned by big third-party love at work and losing patience. The fallen angel, King of Wands reversed, with secret guilt or shame, or his secret keeper or religious advisor is ashamed about knowing and or having taken someone else's ideas. Or Pisces, or a religious woman here answering the message as him, like not like lying, because they're not really the person who's answering the message, when it isn't even supposed to. Someone might not have had access or legal access to messages and actually was answering messages for someone else, pretending to be that person. So now is the Starseed reversed, falling from grace into dark night, or Aries reversed and Scorpio reversed, bumping into each other accidentally, and the King of Cups reversed with High Priestess or Reader in energetic exchange with the Hierophant reversed, or poor judgment, or holding back an announcement or decision, or calls, or made a bad call. Lots of back and forth between Scorpio reversed and or Pisces, which is funny because that was my kids. I told you they were texting a lot back and forth yesterday. And Taurus reversed, Aquarius reversed, and Aries reversed right here. There's no new drop with the Page of Wands reversed, frustrated and uninspired to romance and implementing a plan to come together, but uncomfortable, with the Divine Feminine in the 5D, or her world upside down, and Pisces reversed, and choice of path. And so they may be, not agreeing with their choice of path, or this could be a Pisces reversed, or double Scorpio here coming up as resisting sudden changes and taking forever to let go and repair, whether that's a home or a move out or a visit, at 520, which is the Hierophant and the 20 of Judgment. And the Queen of Cups reversed with Scorpio and a happy family, sending them out, the errand boy. The King of Swords with a negative past with the King of Wands reversed, and the Knight of Pentacles offering help to the King of Pentacles reversed to detox and be strong. I'm getting effective here, but it's more about affection. But someone's teaching the King of Pentacles reversed to detox, be strong, and be more affectionate or effective, and rise above. And this was all at 521, which is the Hierophant in the world, completing a cycle. Earth sign with Capricorn in chart, and Leo perhaps with Gemini in his corner or on his mind. Soon here is the Eight of Pentacles upright and working it out, sweating it out. The Magician in divorce or break and overwhelmed, purging, healing, and forgiving as the fallen angel, or losing patience or losing their temper, post-war, dumping emotional attachments with Leo, kids, or the pets, and being strong after making a bad call or having made no call at all. The twin flames are seeing themselves as the Knight of Swords upright, the messengers of truth, but dissatisfied with the King of Cups reversed in a heated exchange, not expressing their feelings or their true feelings, and the Empress defenseless when he's working to align with the Queen of Cups reversed and the Queen of Pentacles reversed and the Ten of Pentacles reversed, all this negative energy, dysfunction or loss of the family, business, or community, and the King of Cups then reversed and never satisfied. The Empress being bossy at work, and the Queen of Cups and Page of Pentacles both reversed, forced to work with their dysfunctional family, business, or community. So all, how can you work together to align when you're dealing with all this negative energy? And again, dealing with, you're already transmuting your energies and your normal life. And now do you really want to put yourself into a situation where you'd have to transmute those other energies and other people who've gotten that, what? And, the energy, and it's not about going into fear. It's about needing to do the work of raising your vibration, right? Because your high vibration takes you out of everything. And it's all about your intention, your belief system. So the energy of separation and letting your friends help comes up here, and true love, that this is a romance of a lifetime. Around the twins are how they're seen as the Five of Cups reversed, the getting over it, getting over the loss, the regret, the guilt and the shame, getting over the past and letting go of emotional attachments, the offering of a new life to the Chariot, the move, the trip, the Cancer, the Warrior, and the Page of Cups reversed. Perhaps left with the supposed happy family, taking in strays or runaways, or somebody gave money for a car to someone and then they spent the money or gave it to the Ten of Cups family, and the Page of Cups reversed instead. Okay? So there's all sorts of little deceptions here. Now remember, if you gift somebody money, they can do whatever they want with it. But if you're gifting someone a car and specifically giving it to them to purchase a car, then that's a betrayal and a lie, because they're not using it as it was agreed to be used. So the block here is the Lovers here offering the whole truth, the Knight of Cups offering to the Hermit reversed in order for them to come out. So that can be anyone who's over isolating. It can be a parent who's, got Alzheimer's or dementia. Someone who feels like they're losing their mind, and someone else who understands what they're going through, then pulling them out to help them feel better. Creativity coming up in synchronicities, and surrender, but even more so here is moderation, staying at that 0 point as we're in between moon cycles right now. We're in between the full moon and the new moon. The Queen of Wands reversed, and the Dark Priestess here with the keys and the open book. The cat and the bells on their toes. So again, this is coming up as someone who may or may not be grounding positive intention here, right? Because they're coming up as the Dark Priestess, like, tempting people with keys, and the open book, that could be spell work as well. And someone who's with a cat and who likes to wear ankle bracelets or bells on their toes. It's that kind of energy coming up. Or two who dress really sexy, but the Queen of Wands reversed may be worse than the High Priestess here, or the Dark Priestess. Or it could be a realtor here as well, who's going through the contract and dropping off the keys, but she's not coming off as a pure energy right here. The Ace of Wands, new passion ignited to deal with the past or kids and siblings, and grounding and integrating a message of love. Perhaps someone made a fool of themselves or feels like that, and now after boredom, they are feeling impassioned again. Coming back downstairs, the Queen of Swords upright, speaking about the need for vacation and surrender, or for Leo reversed, kids reversed, pets reversed, to get out of the house and give it up. The Emperor awake, due to the Page of Swords reversed in their negative self-talk, or a kid who's talking too much or with a potty mouth. Someone in negative self-talk, but healing that energy. Forgiveness coming up, and new passion, growth, creativity offered here. We have Pisces and Aries and Leo and Gemini upright, Capricorn reversed here in the end. Unhappy, dissatisfied, arrogant. and the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords, both upright here. Over it, or on a journey, but without peace. No peace of mind quite yet, anyway. The challenge being the awakening, to align with the work of the lovers and affection. And again, the open book test coming up, as, you know, whenever you're being tested, it's never a closed book test. You always have access to information and your own connection. So they're reminding you of that. Somebody falling on their face or lacking faith in order to find that spark again, to go back down, to get the Emperor upright and the Hanging Man reversed, awakened, the Page of Swords reversed, healing and forgiving, along with the grace of God. The Queen of Pentacles reversed here, with divorce, with shadow detox, unhappy alone, leading the way, with the King of Wands reversed, divorced, the Knight of Wands without a peaceful place to go, falling on their face or fell off the wagon, and challenged by no sleep, as well as the awakening process. All right, so that's coming up as the Knight of Wands. So the King of Wands reversed could be the Knight of Wands, changing his energy around, because the Knight of Wands is upright and ready to go, but the King of Wands is reversed. So the Queen of Pentacles is coming up as divorced and doing shadow detox work, unhappy alone, and then leading the way with the King of Wands reversed, divorced, and the Knight of Wands without a peaceful place to go. Perhaps then they fell on their face or fell off the wagon, so then he's no longer the Knight of Wands upright. The block being here, no sleep in the awakening, or the challenge. At 543, which is the Hierophant and the 43 of the Three of Cups coming together. So at 544, which is the Hierophant and again the Four of Cups, grounding, integrating, mastering of love, but also can be boredom and apathy, which is what that's for, is to ground and integrate. The Knight of Swords working to align and get over loss, regret, and the lover's new passion to return to the dungeon, for the Emperor upright, awakening in negative self-talk and healing and forgiving. So again, going back to help another at 545, which is the Hierophant, and the grieving process of the Five of Cups and getting over it. All right, so now I'm going to I watched JT Leroy last night. It was interesting, but it wasn't the best movie. The ending I didn't feel it was that great, but anyway, that was the movie I watched last night, JT Leroy, and I'm going to pull some cards for you guys. So the Animal Spirit deck. And again, come back to the die. We had Sagittarius, Pluto, and the number 10. So again, that Knight of Wands is that Sagittarius energy as well as the Temperance energy. Now, I think the Temperance was reversed in this read, which would be like the King of Wands reversed. But the Knight of Wands was upright, which is that younger Sagittarius type of energy. And then Pluto of that deep transformation and talking about going into the ground, from the ground up. And the 10 of divine timing and a turn for the better. Destiny. All right, so from the Spirit deck here, let's see what comes up for you guys. I also want to pull a Lenormand card today, too. For the Twin Flames. All right, these three are coming up together with the octopus at the bottom. We have the crow, the oyster, and the hyena. You know, the crow is very profound. You see him, he's like hovering over the world, the rainbow world right here. The oysters, right, keeping their energy clean. They're keeping out of everybody's deal. And there's the hyena who's sneaking around wanting something to laugh at, right, to make fun of. He's not getting any, I can't get no satisfactions. That's coming up from the hyena. Because these guys are being wise and keeping their energies to themselves. And the hyena is kind of annoyed because they're bored. And so we have fire, water, and air there. And then the octopus, right, who needs to learn their boundaries, which is also water here, is coming up as the underlying energy. And there's the fire ants, again, about boundaries, right? And there's about that attack in the middle, the fight, like, you know, does that not look like a boxing match or something? It's all about the competition, right? The fire ants and attack, the war. And then the octopus that needs to know their boundaries, right? To keep their energy clear, but they're not, right? The octopus wants to help everyone. They're extending their arms to everybody, but they need to pull them back in for a moment, right? Because it may not be good energies out there to extend themselves, knowing your boundaries. So I'm going to pull up the crow first, because that was the first card out, which is air. The crow. Spiritually strong, creative, and watchful. The crow has long been a symbol of magic. A crow personality is drawn to the supernatural and has a gift for seeing the unseen, knowing the unknown. It is said that the crow holds within its mind's eye the three realities, past, present, and future. The crow energy is potent and should be only tapped into when the mind is clear. Those with crow tendencies must balance their lives with a healthy diet, joyful friends, and regular self-study. So again, it's not just about being in the etheric realms. It's about doing the work of keeping yourself grounded and in balance. So when they're in balance, they're psychic, strong, and clear, but when they're out of balance, they're ungrounded and hypersensitive. To bring back into balance, daily meditation practice. Okay, and then we have the oyster, which I'm going to read too, which is water. Oyster. Oyster is patient secret keeper hiding inner treasures. The focus and determination of the oyster is unmatched. Anything an oyster personality puts their mind to, they achieve with grace and charm. The only problem is oyster types often take their inner gifts for granted. They become shy or doubtful, and this can lead to withdrawing or protecting their deepest desires in life's work. When the oyster card appears, it's important to reveal your inner treasures. What is it you've been hesitant to share? The world is waiting to see. So when they're in balance, they feel blessed, generous, and masterful. But when they're out of balance, they're reluctant, gripping, and then clams up, quote unquote. To bring into balance, share something. That's the oyster. All right? So are you the crow that needs to pull your energies back? And remember, the crow can always hover on a wire up above, but maybe the wire is affecting them and they need to go fly somewhere else to a tree. The oyster needs to maybe expand themselves more. Remember that the journey is different for everybody, because some people are more outgoing and they put themselves out there more and they need to pull back. Whereas the oyster is always to themselves and they need to put them out a little bit. They need to share to come back into balance. It's always the moderation. So for each person, it's going to be different. And then we have the hyena of the fire, right? And they like to get satisfaction over other people's pain. So why is the hyena coming up here? Okay, hyena, where are you? This is probably the last one. Okay. So hyena is humor, wit, and sarcasm. The hyena personality is a jokester and a crowd pleaser, but below the surface there are unfulfilled dreams to be realized. When the hyena card appears, it's time to reflect on your reliance on sarcasm and humor to express your truth, right? Because then you don't ever have to really express your truth, right? Because you're always trying to be funny. Are you using jokes to hide old resentments and relationships, or to mask things that make you feel uncomfortable in discussing them outright? What would happen if you took your goals seriously? So when the hyena's in balance, they're charming, witty, and fun to be around. But when they're out of balance, they're scrappy, petty, and suspicious. So when they need to get balance, they need sobriety. Okay, so this is addictions. Right? The one who's masking their insecurities by being the jokester. All right, again, so there's this very stressful, nervous energy that's coming up today, because people are all working on themselves, right? They're working on clearing their deepest wounds. There's a lot of competition and battling coming out, as well as what we just discussed. right? If you're too inward, you need to reach out. If you're too outward, you need to pull back a little bit. If you are someone who plays off your issues as humor, then there may be addictions at play, and you may need to, pull away and straighten up a bit, or clean up the act, which comes up in a lot of the reads. So let's see what the Lenormand Reverie comes up with. It is the Gilded Reverie Lenormand. Okay, so these guys, so again, 3 cards came out, so 3s are significant here. Oh, yeah, there's 3 and 3. There's actually 2 sets of 3s that want to come out. The bottom of the deck is 36, which is that 3-6-9 energy, because 36 is 9. And the cross to bear, right? So the underlying energies, which we're just talking about, are everyone's different crosses to bear. And again, it's different for everyone. The first 3 cards that came up together is the child, the tweeting, and the couples here, right? This is like socializing, gossiping too. And then we have the 40. Is that the mask? Let me see. '40's the mask, yeah. Look deep into your soul. For whose amusement do you play? I balance the contradictions and encompass the opposites. I project your emotions or hide them. When I land to your right, I bring joy to light. But if my presence is to your left, then melancholy is in sight. And it came out to our right, so that's actually good. So it's bringing joy to a child, perhaps news or tweets. All parts I can play, the truth or disguise, I am your creation. So it's playing roles, playing a different part, like the hyena playing the part of being the jokester, and now needing to come clean. And again, this can be a child or regarding a child here, because this is definitely about the child, but childlike energies, the new, the being playful, and being playful with other birds. But this also is a couple's energy, this specific card. This is the 12 of the Hangman and the 7 of Diamonds, which is reaping rewards of your efforts. And again, then the 40 of the Mask. And this is also, gossip. So not only is it, joking as sarcasm and needing to clean up their act, but gossip of coming together and having nothing better to do than talk about others, which makes you feel better. And of course, children can do that. This is also a child not wanting to do that and feeling left out of the crowd because they just want to gossip about others. And they're actually seeing the mask on these people. This is a child who may be awakening actually here. But it's mimic, the 3 cards are mimicking these energies, right? All right, so we have the crow of the child being wise, perhaps needing to pull back their energies. The oyster of the others who maybe are more shy, so they want to come together to be seen, right? Coming out and connecting. And then here's the jokester of the mask. He needs to clean up their act. And then the second 3 cards that's coming up is the, where'd the other one go? Am I missing a card? I have 3 cards, but I thought this was a 4th card. I'm not finding it now, though, so if I see it later, I'll let you know. So, did I lose it? I swear I had 3 cards, but maybe not. All right. So these 3 cards are coming up together then, because this I thought was a 4th card, the doggy, which is loyalty. Here we have the 24 of the Queen of Wands and the swans here. Also the Page of Cups is coming up here. And this is the woman in a relationship, and she's thinking about this beautiful relationship over here. So this is 2 very beautiful energies coming up together. And then the loyalty over here of the, and paralleling this to the other 3 of the hyena, right? This is when they come clean. Like going from initially black and white over here, even the crow's got his handle on some color there. It's like these 3 when they come clean, right? This one pulls back on their energies to focus on the 2, This one expands their energies to focus on the other, and then the one who gets loyal after being addicted to something. So it's like the completion of these energies when they get clean. Very interesting. And again, this can be mother and child energy, or just someone being childlike in a relationship here. Maybe not wanting to be part of gossip, and maybe she's not. She's pulling back. This one needs to open up or pull back, and the other one then. So this one's pulling back from this to be this, and then she's opening up more into this. And then here's the loyalty of the third, getting their addictions cleaned up. Very interesting the way that all came out. And then real quickly, the journey of love. It's 1:16 on my clock, which is the Magician in the Tower, and then 1:10:33 here, which is the 01 and 10 is a reflection of each other, the Magician and the turn for the better. And then when was the last thing? I can't remember. Oh, the 33 of the Christ vibration. Standing up for oneself without being triggered. Taking the high ground. All right, from the journey of love. Journey of love. She loves. And 61 is that taking a risk card. Taking a risk to love herself and others. We also have riding the cosmic wave of the 60. So 60 and 61, but it's going backwards. So it's going back down a little bit to review. It's like the energy circle going back down a little bit to come back up again. Here she's to herself, and here she's opening herself up again, riding the cosmic wave, reaching out to another perhaps. And this could be reaching out to a mother. And again, the mother and daughter energy was coming up in the other cards as well. All right? And they could be very different. But this could be a child reaching out to their mother. And there's also that energy of signs and symbols coming up here. But the I keep wanting to say Atlantis instead of mantis. So Atlantis and praying mantis are coming up here, right, with the mother praise. And this is the 15 of the devil, which is today's date, the shadow energy and the shadow of the mother. And here's the feminine or the daughter reaching out to the mother. And then the bottom of the deck is legacy of light, which is the 53. 53 is the Knight of Swords, the messenger of truth. And there's very much the energy of Jesus standing there in a robe. The robe also came up with a long skirt and holding on to a lighted blanket, perhaps a heated blanket. And there's like an old man fading away over here, you know, that's like kind of falling away as they hold the light over here. The messengers of truth. It's like the masculine energy holding what's it called? The sleeping bag? Holding the sleeping bag, waiting to go out camping, while the mother and daughter work out their issues together. And he's just patiently waiting over here holding light. Okay? So the feminine reaching out her heart, opening up to the mother or to the shadow side. This also could be religion, right? That's controlling. It doesn't mean that if the religion helps you be a better person, it's amazing. If it controls you because you're listening to what others tell you have to be, then that's a problem. Okay, so again, there's something being worked out between feminine energies here. And then we have fire and ice with 37, which is unconditional love. And this is the polarity, and there's the Jesus energy again, standing between the red and the blue, any polarities that come up, right? This can be the lower chakra system, the upper chakra system, the red and blue, as you know it as well. And then here's Jesus in the middle, you know, taking the middle road and seeing the light, holding the light for both sides to come to the middle, to meet them in the middle, as opposed to going to one side or the other, and as opposed to taking sides, staying in the middle, being neutral in fire and ice, which then becomes water, right? Which is what we all live on here on Earth. We need the water. We need the middle road, as we are right between the full moon and the new moon coming up. Okay, and there's very different energies in every one of these cards. The one who's shy, the one who's more social, the mother who likes to tell people what to do, and then the one here who wants to stay neutral and hold the light. So it's about everyone's different perspectives. And then we have the journey of love. And the first card out was She Loves, which is 61. Something in the way she moves. It's coming up. It's like no other. She loves. Forgiveness is here for you now. Can you partake of it? Forgiveness of your own self for the times you messed up, that you didn't love, forgot to trust, tried to take over, and decided against surrender. Forgiveness is here for you now for the times when you couldn't forgive another, even if you really tried and really wanted to. She loves. She is here for you now. Open your heart to the angel goddess of forgiveness and let her fill your heart. You are free. This oracle brings you a message from the divine. You are forgiven. You are worthy of forgiveness, and you are capable of great spiritual generosity in forgiving others. If there's a person that you cannot forgive, you are really just not forgiving yourself, perhaps for being vulnerable, for not knowing better, or for not listening to your own intuition. It's time to let that go and allow the forgiveness that the divine has for you to fill your heart. You are free now. You just need to realize it. The cherry blossom knows when to bloom each year and never questions whether its beauty is enough. There is peace in knowing you always bloom well, yet man spends a lifetime in wonder. So again, forgive and let things happen naturally. Stop working so hard and just be authentically you. Make sure you drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature, or do what you want. It's always up to you. At 16:16, rise and be love, you guys. Bye.